Hello and welcome. I am very excited today. I am here with Lisa Ferry. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Maggie. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. So, I would love for you to tell us about Lisa Ferry.
Okay, well, I'm a Reiki practitioner trained in the Usui tradition. Energy healing and mindful intention work through spell writing over the years have empowered me to take a deep dive into the world of the spiritual and metaphysical, which really helps to promote balance within and healing of the mind, body, and the soul. And what I love to do is share my knowledge and experience with different modalities to help others heal and to create a safe space for conversations about all things intuitive, or woo-woo, as we like to say.
I love that. So, Lisa, I'm just trying to understand. We are having an issue streaming to your Facebook page.
Okay.
So, what I'm going to do is just see if we can figure that out and make it happen. If it does not allow us to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to share your video from mine and make that happen. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go on and tell people to join us on our YouTube channel because it doesn't look like it's going. So let's just join us on YouTube. So while I'm doing that, Lisa, why don't you share? Let's talk a little bit more about your about what you do with Reiki, because a lot of people don't know what Reiki is. So can you share with us what exactly is Reiki?
Sure. So Reiki is a Japanese word made of two characters, Rei and Ki. Rei meaning universal, omnipotent, all-knowing, healing, and Ki is energy. So it really means life force energy, or the energy that animates all living things. And the word Reiki names a system of natural healing that balances the flow of the energy as it circulates within and emanates from our bodies. So what we do is we channel that healing energy as Reiki practitioners. What we do is we call in and channel that Reiki energy. And everyone, all of us have access to this Reiki energy. There's a wonderful analogy that Madame Takata, who was the third master of Reiki, used. She described a Reiki practitioner as a radio. So what the Reiki practitioner is doing is tuning into those invisible energies that we don't see, just like we don't see radio waves, we don't see energy waves generally either. But what we do is we tune into them, and then we send them out to our participants. And that's what a Reiki client is called a participant. And so we do that. We only call on good energy, good healing energy. It's only sent for the highest and best good of the participant. We're not sharing the energy. We're not sending our own energy. We're just channeling that healing.
Wonderful, Lisa. Thank you for that. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, we are, make sure you like this page and leave comments below if you have questions for Lisa, because we would like to make this interactive. So, Lisa, what exactly can a Reiki treatment do for me?
Well, Reiki, as I mentioned earlier, it's wonderful for the mind, body, and the spirit. So what Reiki does is it balances the flow of energy through the chakras. And each chakra, there are 7 major chakras in the body, and each chakra balances energy toward different parts of the body. And what it does is it stimulates the body's own healing process, and it induces deep restorative relaxation. And as we all know, a relaxed state and a balanced energy flow can promote clarity of focus and peace of mind. And when you have a calm and clear mind and a healthy body, you can feel connected, and you can feel able to connect with the collective consciousness, collect with all things, and feel that deep reflection and connection. It allows us to have the calm mind in order to just relax and enjoy the present moment and enjoy our lives, as opposed to dwelling on the past, looking forward to the future. And it really brings us into the present moment. It can do several things for the physical body. Besides just relaxation and stress relief, it does cause the body to, it stimulates the body's own healing processes. So it actually speeds healing when we're ill, or if we're injured, or if we have surgery. It improves our immune system. It actually boosts our immune system. It actually increases our white blood cell count. It reduces inflammation. So it can be used for all different kinds of things. And emotionally, it can support us when we're working on changing habits, which is also a wonderful thing to use it for.
Yeah, habits, sometimes people have a negative connotation with habits, right? But habits can be good things too, right? Like it could be a
Absolutely.
positive. So I love the fact that, for me, I'm arthritic. Reducing inflammation, Reiki has helped tremendously for me with that. So I can definitely testify to the fact that Reiki does have that positive influence not only on your emotional and your physical, but your emotional and mental, but also your physical. So it was surprising to me to see, that happen. But I think, we talked about you have to keep open, right? You have to have an open willingness and acceptance for it, correct?
Absolutely, yes. And it's wonderful for not only the inflammation, but for pain relief.
Mm.
And it's been shown to, they've actually done work with people coming out of surgery and going into rehab facilities. And Reiki actually helps so much with pain management that the folks who receive the Reiki, in addition to Western treatment, tend to need fewer pain meds, which is wonderful.
That's fantastic.
And yeah, so it's great for the whole body. It's wonderful for the whole body.
So now, if somebody was planning to have a Reiki session, is there anything that they need to do to prepare for that session?
Great question. So yes, we always suggest that you be well hydrated. So even not just the day of, but a couple of days before, you should always be well hydrated anyway, right? We all know this. But to really be focused on making sure that you're well hydrated, because you'll receive the best benefit that way. Our bodies are electrical systems, right? So if we're talking about energy, it's the water in our bodies that is so conductive. So it's a wonderful thing to be hydrated when you're going into a session. You want to be in a room or a space where you can lie down or sit comfortably and undisturbed for the duration of the treatment, because what you really want to do is sort of shut everything off in the outside world and try to reach that meditative state if possible. We always suggest wearing comfy clothes. Also, not eating a big meal right beforehand is great, because most of our body's energy is taken up by the digestive process. So if you're sitting there full, sort of bloated from a big meal, you're not going to get the most benefit out of your session either. And a wonderful thing to do to enhance the treatment is listening to healing music. So when I'm doing a distant healing with someone, I always send them a link to wonderful high frequency healing music, which really, to me, enhances the, unless you're going to be outside listening to the sounds of nature, you don't get better than that.
Yeah. No, and it's interesting because I find the listening to the music also, um, it is so relaxing, and it kind of takes you out of the day, because it's interesting because you have to be present is what I'm hearing, right? You can't be, um, like I remember one time I'm like, I haven't eaten lunch. Can I eat while you're doing Reiki? No, you can't do that, right? You have to be present and in the moment, and take that time, because I think that's another thing, right? Like we need to take time in our lives to just stop and
Absolutely.
and let you work your woo-woo magic and make it all happen. But you need that. Would you consider it like a team kind of thing? Like you can't, you can do what you can do, but if the person or the vessel isn't open or in a state, does it create an issue, or is it best when it's working together? How does that work?
I wouldn't say it creates an issue. The Reiki is smarter than we are. It goes where it's needed. And if the person isn't open to it, I always add the caveat that if it's not for the person's highest and best good, it will go elsewhere where it's needed. So it's not going to do any, it's not going to be a bad thing. But I think I really do believe that it enhances the experience when you set the intention to take the time to receive and know that a healing is coming.
Perfect. So, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but is there anything else to help the energy flow during the treatment?
I like to say, I love the adage. It's something from yoga that I think it works beautifully with Reiki as well. And I like breathe, believe, and receive. So when your mind starts going and you start thinking about things that you have to get done that day, just try to breathe through it. You can always bring your thoughts back to your breath. That's one of the keys to Reiki. Believe that it is for your highest and best good, and that it's going to do what is needed. Reiki is never going to harm, and be open to receiving. And that's really just all the things that you need to do. You can set an intention for the healing. And if there's something that you particularly want it to focus on, you can ask, set that intention out there. But even if you don't have an agenda for it, it's going to go where it's needed.
And do you ask, like, how do you know what to do? Like, know to do a chakra cleaning, or no, is that the right term? I'm not even, am I using the right term? Chakra
It's a chakra clearing.
clearing.
And in every session I do a chakra clearing. So basically that's what Reiki is going through and clearing those chakras. And then I do any additional work. So say if someone's got a knee issue, I'm going to do the chakra clearing first, because usually the chakra clearing the energy flows through the chakras, whether we're sending it or not. That's where the energy flows through. How the energy flow through the body is controlled by those chakras. So by balancing those chakras, that often takes care of whatever issue is going on. But then we can once that's done, we can focus on, say somebody's got knee pain. I will focus on working on those physical issues in those specific parts of the body.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that, Lisa,
Sure.
because I find it very interesting how this all pulls together. So you mentioned that it's integrative Reiki, correct?
Yes, and that's a term that I like to use because I've studied lots of different modalities over the years, like stones and crystals and essential oils, and the sound healing that we talked about earlier with the high frequency music, oracle cards, intention work. So we spoke about intention earlier as well. Mm-hmm. And I find that all integrates so beautifully with Reiki that's the reason that I chose Reiki as my practice to share. Because I think all those other things integrate so beautifully into it that it just becomes one thing, one practice. I don't think of them anymore as separate entities. I just think of it all as Reiki or energy work.
Yeah, and it seems like that makes you different and unique from others, that are Reiki practitioners, right? So if somebody really wants to, it sounds like you cater to the client, right? Or now, what remind us again? What do you call? It's not a client. I'm in business mode, but
participant is the word that we use. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and not everyone needs all the different modalities. I mean, I send the healing music, and if it's for you, great. If it's not, no worries. You don't need to be listening to music. If silence is more quieting for you, perfect. I don't use my writings with everyone. Sometimes, if I feel like I offer, and sometimes if it feels right, but not everybody needs every modality. I love sharing essential oils with folks because I think it also adds to the experience, but not everybody's into essential oils, and that's cool. I don't use them with everybody. Stones and crystals, sometimes I'll recommend that somebody use them, go out and get a stone, or I'll give them a stone if I think that's going to be helpful. But I use the stones in my practice and in my healing anyway. So I've got them with me and I'm using them for the healing. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy a stone. I've got it here for you. So, but some people, get into it and like learning about the things. And I love sharing that information with people. And if they just want a session where they, just want to lay down and do nothing and just have the session, that's cool too.
So, Lisa, if somebody wanted to, they're not sure if Reiki is the thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
You have something that you do, like an introductory offer, correct?
Yes. Well, we can do two things. I also have a Calendly link set up so that I can offer a free 30-minute consultation, so we can talk about it and decide if somebody even wants to try it. But I also, when I start working with someone, I like to give them that 3-session introductory package. When we first start working with someone, we want to do 3 sessions, if not 3 consecutive days in a row, then at least within the first week, so that we can get a good balance of the chakras going. And sometimes people feel wonderful after that, and either want to do a session once a week going forward, or once a month, or even once a season. But I feel like getting those 3 sessions in really gives them a good foundation to build upon.
Lisa, what's that Calendly link? Do you know? How can they get that? Should they just go to your website?
You know what? Yes, you just go to my website, reach out to me, and I'll get an email from you saying that you're interested, and I can send out the Calendly link, because of course I don't know it off the top.
I was trying to find it, and I was like, I can't find it. But you know what we'll do? We'll put it in the comments below,
Okay.
so that you can reach out. I mean, that's wonderful to have that opportunity to meet with Lisa and talk to her and see if she can help you. So if somebody is struggling, like, what are some of the things that what would you say would be the things that people you have helped, not obviously naming names, but the people you've helped, like, what were some of their things that they came to you for, and how did they find Reiki and all of the modalities that you used to help them with whatever they were dealing with?
So I started my practice just before the world shut down. So that was a bit of a challenge, but it was actually a blessing in disguise, because people started reaching out to me with issues that they had going on because they couldn't get out to, for example, I had a friend we have a mutual friend actually, who had a terrible ear infection. And I was able to help her with Reiki when she couldn't get her medication. She couldn't get to see her doctor right away, and couldn't get out to get some medication. So, and then when she did get the medication, she was struggling with her ear was so inflamed, the canal was so inflamed that the eardrops weren't going down and doing what they needed to do. So the Reiki actually helped not only with the pain management for the ear infection, but it also helped with the inflammation. And she said, as she was sitting there in the treatment, she could feel the eardrops start to trickle down into her ear. So that's a wonderful example of Reiki working in conjunction with Western medicine to help get someone healed. So I love that. And actually, we have another friend who actually also was helped with pain management of an ear infection. But I also have a friend who had surgery during COVID time, and we helped with pain management. I worked with her once or even sometimes twice a week on pain management, and continued that while she was going through her physical therapy. And she swears that the Reiki was the thing that helped get her through. But also I've worked with people on other issues like focus and anxiety and stress management during COVID. I have a friend who sent her niece to me because her niece was struggling with, a millennial was struggling with the isolation and having trouble dealing with that. So we did 3 wonderful sessions, and she felt much calmer and much more able to get on with the day. So it helps with so many different things. And as you mentioned, we've worked with the arthritis when you couldn't get out into your acupuncturist, when the acupuncturist was still closed
Right.
down during COVID. So it helps with so many different things. And I don't think that I would have explored the distant healing as much as I did because of the shutdown. And there are people who love it, and they love the convenience of it. They love not having to go to a destination, and spend a half hour getting there and a half hour back again. They love being able to be sitting in their own space. I have a friend who loves to be out in her hammock on her front porch when we do Reiki. So some people just prefer to be in their own space, and it's sort of become a little niche of mine, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, I always want to call it remote Reiki because it's the alliteration, but it is wonderful. And I think that, sometimes when you have I think a lot of us had found during COVID ways that have enhanced what we do. There are things we've become more efficient. I know for me, even though the stress of dealing with COVID and everything that it involved, there were things that actually made me step back and look at my life and say, well, why am I running around all the time? Like, why are you stressed out all the time? Right. And opened myself up to learning about you and Reiki and finding out how, of course, I love the Oracle cards. I just have to say they are my absolute favorite, and it freaks me out. I mean, the thing, I mean, in a good way, right? Because, there was one time where we were talking, and there was, you pulled out a squirrel card, and it was one of the animal oracle cards. And I look out my window, and there is a squirrel sitting. Okay, so we're in, I'm not like I'm in the city and I see a squirrel, but like it was right there. Like I looked out the window, there's a squirrel sitting on the place, this kid's play set, that I have never seen that squirrel sit on that place set ever again, but who knows, right? It just was the timing and everything. And I think a lot of this is just accepting the fact that there are things that just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? So it's been a very interesting journey to find out how Reiki can help me with my life, but can help other people with the things they're going through. And I think with the remote, I'm calling it remote Reiki again, with the distant healing that you do, like you've been able to help people who are in different states as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, I have a friend who asked for a healing for a cousin in Spain. So it's not just, and it's instantaneous. The people notice, people know when I start to channel the energy. It's distant Reiki healing is part of every Reiki practitioner's toolkit. It's something that we all learn. And so it's not like I made this up, and discovered this and started doing it during COVID times. But again, I don't think that I would have explored it as much as I have. And even that, I have my own sort of twist on it, because traditionally the distant healing is, okay, you make an appointment, you trust that the participant is going to be sitting and receiving at the time that you're sending, and you just send the Reiki. And as you know, what we do is we talk on the phone beforehand, put the phone down, have the Reiki session, and then we talk afterwards and that's not a connection for the Reiki's purpose. That's just for me to feel connected. So I do that. I do that a little differently than the traditional. But I think it's just evolved from my tendency to integrate other things into my practice. And to me, I think I get a lot out of the consultation beforehand and the conversation after, and then we get to play with oracle cards. So, who doesn't love that?
I love that. But it's wonderful to know how you've been able to make, the Bashful Buddha this different, unique experience. So even if somebody has already had Reiki and knows everything, knows about chakras and knows, what Reiki does, an experience with the Bashful Buddha, Lisa Ferry Bashful Buddha, is a different. That's right. Just Lisa, is a different experience. It's something that I would encourage you to at least contact Lisa. Go to her website. She's got a contact me page. Fill out the questionnaire and see what what Lisa can do to help you in your life, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. It sounds like Reiki is an answer to help not only with these issues, but support other things that you might be going on in your life.
Yes, definitely. And I love having conversations with people. If I'm not the practitioner for them, I may know someone. I've been studying so many different modalities for so many years. I'm not a hard sell. I'm not going to try to convince you that Reiki is for you. But I may know somebody or another practitioner or another modality that might be a little more comfortable for you. So, and I'm happy to refer people. So just have a conversation and we'll pull a card and we'll have some fun.
Sounds like a great time, Lisa. So, why don't we wrap up? Do you have any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with people, or and make sure, check Lisa's. I'm leaving her website up here so you can check her page, because she does do special events and collaborative workshops with people. So she's always got something new going on. But Lisa, any final words you'd like to share with our listeners today?
Sure. I've actually collaborate with 3 other practitioners who we call ourselves the Powerful Collective, and we've got an event coming up on Friday, June 25th at 5:30 p.m. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you're more than welcome to go to our events page at bashfulbuddha.com, and you can find out about that as well.
Wonderful. And, if you're watching this on the replay and it's past that date, don't worry, because you run these seasonally, correct, Lisa? People can come in.
We do, yes. So there'll be one per month per season. So we've got the one coming up in June is the first of the summer series, and each one is individual and unique, and you don't have to have been to all 3. You can come to one at a time. Doesn't matter. Just come and enjoy and become part of the community.
Wonderful. All right, everybody. Well, that is Lisa Ferry, Bashful Buddha. Make sure you check her out on her website, her Instagram, and her Facebook. She's here to help you with the challenges that you're facing, but also to take you up that next level and give you the energy healing that you need. So, Lisa, thank you so much for joining me today. And to everybody, be happy, be healthy.
Thanks, Maggie. Bye, everyone.
Bye.